Alright you guys, it's Sep here. Welcome back to the episode of PES 2016 My Club Tips. In this video I'm going to show you the question I'm going to answer the question being asked a lot. How to get your assistant coach team spirit high. Okay, there are many ways that you are taking advantage of your assistant coach. First of all, obviously you start with your main coach and you have a second coach and a third coach with different tactics and formations. So that means during the game you can confuse your opponent using different managers with different tactics and formation. But the key thing is that your team spirit will be high when you switch to your assistant coach, whether it's a defensive or offensive one. Now that's a first use that you will have using an assistant coach. But in this video I want to talk about how to get your assistant coach team spirit high. It's very simple, guys. For example, I start with Almeida and I'm using Rousey as an assistant coach. If you start with him when for the first time you actually use an assistant coach, his team spirit is going to be very low. It's like 70. So the key is, what I've done is very simple. Almeida is my main coach, Rousey is an assistant coach. What I've done, I actually used Rousey as a main manager and I played against the computer, won about 20 to 30 matches so that the majority of my players got tactically fit with Rousey. And then I used him as an assistant coach. So it's very simple, guys. If you want to use a manager as assistant coach, use him as a main manager, play 20 to 30 matches against the computer when the majority of your players' team spirit gets high, and then use him as assistant coach. I normally do this when I'm farming GP. You know, I use Rousey. When I got Rousey, I started using him while I was farming GP, and I filled the bench with all my high-rated or the players that I want to use. Even if the players is not in your bench, their team spirit will gradually will go higher. So the advantage of using an assistant coach, first of all, you can confuse your opponent with different tactics and formation. In my case, as you can see, this is my team. The key is, guys, if you are going to use assistant coach, is that you have to have flexible players. For example, I'm using Vidal right here, and I'm using Coyote right here, and I'm using Rossi. Why? Because when I switch to my assistant coach, pressing R1, as you can see, this is literally parked the bus. You can see Vidal can play a center back, so using a flexible players will help. Obviously my team spirit is not high enough. I've literally done this video because a lot of people have been asking. Normally I won't use an assistant coach unless my team spirit is 95 plus. So I start with this manager. If the opponent is a long ball spammer, I switch to this manager, because the key is, guys, your defensive tactic manager, the manager that you want to use as defensive, has to have numbers in attack few and numbers in defense many. That's what makes him defensive. There's no point using using an assistant coach as your defensive tactic when it has defensive style, frontline pressure, and pressure and aggressive. That doesn't make sense. It will be just defensive by name. So choosing an assistant coach as your defensive tactic, the manager has to be tactically defensive. In my case, this manager tactically and formation-wise is defensive. But in my opinion, guys, especially on PES 16, my club, we're talking my club, not generally PES 16, comebacks is very, very easy. You get scripted, all of a sudden your players are all over the place and your opponent gets a goal back. So I believe in my club PES 2016, the best defense is offense. But sometimes, against people who actually constantly long balls and they're not good at it, I simply switch to the manager. Most of the time, if I'm winning by 4 goals, minute 70, I switch to this manager. Now, I'm going to talk about it more, explaining how to manage your team better. We're going to have some gameplay, and notice in the gameplay I am actually starting with my main manager, which is Almeida. And during the game you will see in the formation that I'm actually starting with Rousey. In the match it's all out of, because Rousey is one of the greatest manager. I mean, if you guys watch my stream on Twitch, you can actually watch it right now. It's on the history. I started using Rousey as an assistant coach for Real Madrid manager Benitez, and I actually beat a Division 1 guy 4-0. As soon as I saw he was Division 1, he was using PESmyClub, I instantly switched to Rousey and I beat the guy 4-0. His long balls had no effect on me. Now, why is Rousey very special? Well, he almost has the perfect tactics, but it's defensive, because defensive styles, all out defense and pressuring, is conservative. Long ball spammers, they can long ball all they want. I was literally sitting back and laughing at long balls. So all out defensive conservative. If you get this manager, look out for him. Doesn't matter if he's low rated, because for example, you have Pep Guardiola, right? And you want to get this manager, but you're thinking, hey, he's rated low, I can't use my superstar. Well, you can use Pep Guardiola as your main manager and use Rousey as your assistant coach. Rousey's management skill will be as high as Pep Guardiola, basically. Now obviously Rousey has this is his real name. On your list will probably show up with a fake name and no photo, so you have to take a note of the team he plays for, which is US Créteil Lustanos, something like that. So probably French League Division 2 or something. So guys, I mean, I know I went over you know, the subject a little bit lower. I'm just trying to explain everything so you guys won't have any question. Even if you do, you can actually join my live stream. We normally do Q&A regarding PES anyway. So the tip that I can give you guys, we're gonna jump into the match. The things that is actually useful using assistant coach, as I said, you can confuse your opponent with switching between your managers. The key is to maybe use two assistant coaches, like even 1, 2, 3. As you can see, as you saw at the beginning, I was actually using 3 different managers. You know, I had Almeida, and then I had the Park of the Bus guys, and then I had Rousey. Most of the time, guys, the thing is, even though I go on about tactics a lot, don't get lost in tactics. Tactics will only cover 40%. Rest of it is how good are you? How good are you defending? How good are you reading your opponent's mind? How good are you to actually create a balanced team? It's not all about using your superstar. The mistake that a lot of people do when they are new to PES, it's like, for example, on my own Ultimate Team, they say what is the best formation, but on myClub we say what is the best tactic. I get asked a lot of time, you know, hey, what's the best formation? Well, or what is 4-3-3 a good formation? Well, yes, it is, but tactic matters. You can't just sign a manager just because he's 4-3-3. You have to know whether he has a good tactic or no. And if you check out the playlist called myClub Tips, I literally have a video regarding everything. I guarantee you, any question you ask, I have a tutorial about it. One of the most important videos that I made is actually explaining every single tactical link that the manager could have. I mean, starting from managers like, for example, you know, attacking style, counter position, build up, short pass, long ball, attacking area, center or wide, positioning, flexible or maintain formation, support range, high and low, numbers in attack many, numbers in defense view, you know, defensive style, all out defense, all out defense or aggressive, all out defense or frontline pressure, containment area, wide and center, pressure and aggressive or conservative, the defensive line, how many bars, compact is the higher the compact is the better. So I have videos explaining all these tactical links. If you watch that video, it will give you a good knowledge about what is a good tactic and what is a bad tactic, and therefore you'll be able to pick a manager that will suit your personal style of play and the players that you have and the team you have, obviously. So hope you guys find the video useful. This was just try to make this very short, but I kind of went over the subject. Well, it's kind of whatever I said is kind of. So I think I pretty much covered everything, and one of the best tips that I can give you for those who are new to myClub: never underestimate team spirit. This is not Ultimate Team. I've been Sep. Till next time, ciao for now. This is the School of PES.